Hello, everyone, and welcome to my November Entrada Masterclass, Opportunity, the Antidote to Career Overwhelm. And I will invite you if it's available for you, I'm going to start off with an acknowledgement. And so you're welcome to acknowledge where you are if that's important to you. Where I live, work, and play is located on the unceded traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples of the Kikite First Nations. And so let me just bring up my slides here. So I will share those with you and we can follow along and have that visual prompt as well, not just the visual prompt of me. And so welcome again to my Entrada Membership Masterclass, Opportunity, the Antidote to Career Overwhelm. And a little bit of housekeeping here for those of you who haven't joined me before. For my members, welcome, who are here live in the room with me, or maybe you're tuning in from YouTube or Facebook Live. So welcome, and welcome to our guests as well, or perhaps you're catching the replay. And just to let you know, for my members, your session guide will be in the learning portal, and afterwards we'll be posting the PowerPoint, because sometimes I make some last minute tweaks, so the PowerPoint will be there as well. And there is for Q&A for anyone who would like to drop in any questions. Off to the right as you look at your computer is a panel where you can drop those questions and I'll attend to them later. As mentioned, I will have the replays. I'm live and on YouTube and Facebook as well. So feel free to follow, like, subscribe, whatever all those words are, and share so I can know if this is valuable content for you. And I'll invite you to grab a pen and paper, or perhaps you're more of a digital person, something to write on. My hope is there'll be some insights and something that you might take away from with you from this time together. I'm just planting seeds here, and hopefully something is growing or emerging for you as you listen here. Starting off with a quote from Sun Tzu. Victory comes from finding opportunities in problems. So I'll introduce this quote now, and just laying some foundations here for opportunity and a different perspective that we can have to help us with career overwhelm and what that antidote could be. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rachel Newton. I'm an integrated career coach based on the west coast of Canada in Vancouver. And I have been doing this work for over a decade, have helped hundreds of clients and thousands of hours. And one main way is through my Entrada method. And I found when I did my own career pivot over, I think 13, 14 years ago now, that my career superpower since then has been to help other people find their career superpowers, to be able to discover meaningful work and feel more fulfilled in what they do. My hope is that there'll be something here that you can discover as a nugget to help nudge you towards working your dream. Let me start off with one of my clients who I helped, who was in his early 30s when he came to see me, and he is a media personality in North America and was at a real crossroads in his career. He felt stagnant, and there was a lot of unrealized potential that he was aware he had, but feeling really stuck as how to release that and how to actually take action on what he wanted to do. And through our work together, a spark was created for him. And from that, he discovered that he would really like to leave what he was doing, as secure as it was. And it was fulfilling a lot of his financial security needs and stability, but it was soul destroying, is another way of looking at it. But from the work that the insights that he received from what we did together, he then discovered that he would like to go into something more consultative and looking at exploring the social and community initiatives and to be more autonomous and do his own thing through that. and using those as a lead. And he discovered what he calls his passion project and the career fulfillment that came from that. He found that his work that he was moving towards gave him a lot more meaning. And really, this social mindedness, this community mindedness was propelling and moving him forward. He had increased confidence and was then able to take what seemed like the big scary step, the challenge, if you like, of overcoming what all his doubts and fears were, that he couldn't do something different outside the more conventional work. And he then moved into this other arena. And what we discovered as well as in terms of his superpowers, his career superpowers, was what we called conscious communication and conscious community. So taking his ability, his mastery as a very expert communicator, and his public voice that he and persona, and being able to use that in a different way, very consciously. And I have him here with a farm background because he actually, in addition to actioning on a huge career move, he geographically moved his family from the city into a rural area, which is what he really wanted to do. And so we partnered together to able to access his potentiality and create and implement his plan. He had to do the plan. I just facilitated that process. And so he's the one who did the work, and now he's utilizing his career superpowers for that conscious and intentional communication and that conscious community and social aspect that is really more fulfilling for him. And to paraphrase his words here, his journey with the Entrada Career Program was part of what facilitated him to be able to transform his life and career. And his experience is paraphrased, but it's nothing short of inspiring. From the start of us working together, he was ready, more than ready, to create proactive change and very committed to the process of our regular meetings over the months. And his excitement amplified the further we delved together, and as he delved in between our sessions and was actioning what we were talking about, he found clarity and alignment in the career trajectory and started trusting that more. The Entrada program experience helped plant seeds to allow him to do more than find a new career. He shared with me that he left our process feeling a sense of joyful suspense and anticipatory joy for his next steps, and felt his insights empowered him to discover his passion project that turned his career path into a journey of fulfillment. And today he's confidently saying that his life and career are more aligned, and he's embarking on a brighter future, and expressed deep gratitude to me for the guidance and support that we had working together, and then also to himself for his own determination to keep on saying yes to change even when it felt hard and he felt resistance. But these words reflect his journey of his own self-discovery, passion, pursuing meaningful work that he did, and creating his own successful outcome. So he acted on what we discovered in our Entrada partnership, and he created that life where he can now work his dream. So my hope is that we can help you discover your career superpower so you can work your dream. And these ABCs that I've been doing over the past months to be able to help you do exactly that. I can't share everything in 30 minutes, but I hope that this will plant a seed for you and just give you a taste to give you some momentum, get you started. And the agenda for today of Opportunity, the Antidote to Career Overwhelm, in a moment, I'll invite you to set an intention, and then we'll very quickly review career DNA and what I mean by that. And I want to introduce you to my perspective, my framework, if you like, called the Opportunity Lens. And I'll invite you to the November growth opportunity. That's a lot to get through, and we'll be very as efficient as possible. Here's your intention picture, and I chose this. I was walking with a friend at Steveston, which is a city here near Vancouver, and I love the repurposing of old tires. This artist took the opportunity to take something old and worn out and turn it into essentially art. So there's this little minion. I think minions are really cute. If you don't know what they are, you can Google them. And but my niece loves minions as well. So using this if you want to use this to focus on and setting an intention of how you would best like to focus and use this precious time that you've invested today. And I'll be taking just a few moments of silence so that I'll let you write something down or just sit quietly with what you would like out of this time for the best possible outcome today. So hopefully something there was, you were able to jot something down there. I just want to do a brief overview of career DNA and that concept, and it is unique. It's as unique as a DNA in our cells. And what's it composed of is energy, known talents, and recognized talents. And in the middle there, you have those career superpowers, which is where that comes from, the generation of these. And this is my own model that I've come up with. It's not evidence-based for our scientific minds out there, but it's just through observation that I found that these aspects help clients. And I go more deeply into one of my early masterclasses. You're welcome to catch that replay or review if you haven't already. It's on my website and my YouTube channel. And so just the formula of energy plus talents equals your career superpower. And so just holding that in the back of your mind as we explore some ways to help you uncover that career superpower. And we're doing it through what I call the ABCs to work your dream. And we're up to O this month. So O for opportunity. And so in terms of speaking about opportunity, I wanted to really briefly share with you a time that was very challenging in my own career, my own personal development too. And I shared with you my client earlier, and he took some career challenges and career overwhelm that he had, and has turned his life around in terms of being able to find the opportunity to discover meaningful work. And as I said, his passion project and what he's really thriving in now. My opportunity that I took from something very challenging was in a workshop many years ago, and I decided to take a day of silence, and nobody else did in this week-long workshop. And in that, it was like day 3 or day 4 in a 7-day workshop. And in the middle of that, I took a day of silence. And then during that day, somebody said to me in the group that they were glad that I didn't have the opportunity to speak that day because she didn't value what I had to say. And that was so painful to hear, but the pain and the challenge of it that I took from that was, and for the next year, I worked very hard on how to communicate better. And I have heard feedback that I'm a much better communicator now than I used to be. But I really, I had to really dig deep to take that, what felt so hurtful as a criticism at the time, into something that I could utilize to make it better for me personally and then professionally too. So my hope is that you're all getting the benefit of that. And then to continue to speak to that, what I would like to explore further is the idea of a different perspective on opportunity. And I'll go into that a bit more deeply. But I will invite you to, as you're listening to me, to consider the idea of what your opportunity lens is. I've got cameras here, but you could, because it's kind of obvious there's like cameras there, but you could put your own visual in there. And so let's see what we need to help you tap into your career superpower and take control so you can work your dream. This quote from Sun Tzu, I'm going to bring it back again. I am just wondering, has your relationship with it shifted? And just after you hear about my opportunity lens, if that's shifted again. So victory comes from finding opportunities in problems. Agree, disagree, neutral, something else. And so now let me share with you the 4 components of cultivating an opportunity lens. I've taken the first letter of lens for it to make an acronym, and each of those stands for something. So L is to leverage. So how can we leverage challenges for opportunity towards personal and professional growth? How can we seek that out? And much like my client did, and then I didn't seek it out, but that challenge criticism came to me. And so I actually leveraged that to improve my communication. The second E in lens is embrace. So how can we grab hold of challenge, obstacles, change, diversity, uncertainty? How can we welcome new perspectives and ideas into that and explore these as opportunities, allowing an open and accepting mindset and be open to change and being dynamic in our approach. And then novelty. I originally had put nurturing curiosity, but I thought it's deeper than that. It was just like having a novelty approach of just like that behavior of seeking out something new. And new can be exciting, but also when you want to seek something new, it can also evoke fear for some people. But cats are kind of fearless sometimes, and so this little cat was just, for me, curiosity says killed the cat, but it's also I'm like away from the killing the cat. Anyway, just like, see, communication is not perfect yet, but anyway. So the curiosity of a cat, it's just like they're so curious about things, and so how can we be cat-like or even childlike in our curiosity of new situations, and how can we willingly step ourselves into something that might feel like a challenge or an obstacle and take that as an opportunity. And then finally, the S is seize. So seize the moment, seize the momentum of it. Carpe diem, seize the day. And so, these opportunities, these challenges that come to us, how can we seize them as opportunities and and harness anything that is coming up in the moment to be able to propel yourself forward towards your goals, and what could those next steps be? So bringing it all together of like how you could cultivate an opportunity lens is through leveraging, embrace, novelty, and seize. So that's your opportunity lens there. And this might even provoke you of thinking, okay, so what would stand for the LENS for me? So maybe it's something different. And so that's you taking the opportunity to be creative. So leveraging those challenges for opportunity to move towards growth, embracing and inviting those challenges and to help you grow, having a novelty mindset, a novelty approach of just like, okay, that's a new thing to look at challenge and obstacles, career overwhelm to be something as an opportunity, and then to seize the moment and that momentum. And to the last point, I'm going to call on Faust here from a long time ago. And his quote that I've grabbed here is, some of our important decisions have a timeline. If we delay a decision, the opportunity is gone forever. Sometimes our doubts keep us from making a choice that involves change. So an opportunity may be missed. And I have changed it was originally thus, and now it's so, but to make it more contemporary. In any case, just consider how that sits with you. A lot of my clients come to me and say, I should have done this a lot sooner, but I say you're ready when you're ready. And we all have our own rhythm, and not mine, but I heard Time of Life a few years ago, and I love it. It's just like, no, speed of life. Okay, mix that around in my head again. So the speed of life. So, being generous with yourself and compassionate with yourself around that too. So career change can be challenging, and taking what could feel like a crisis and turning that opportunity, that's up to you, how you choose to take your number one career challenge right now and see it as an opportunity. And maybe taking it through the opportunity lens and having a different perspective might be helpful for you to do that. So I'll invite you to do that, or maybe you've got your own way to do it. And there's a couple of prompts here to help you further explore that. And the first is, what could it be to examine your connection or your relationship with the concept of opportunity? And then the next one, identify any recurring patterns when you seize opportunities. So I'll leave those with you to reflect on. And then if you want to level up and take the Career Superpower Success Action Step for this month, my prompt for you is, how might I proactively choose a small step towards considering my number one career challenge as an opportunity in my life and career? I don't see any questions here, so we will keep on moving on. And as we wrap up here, I know it's gone really quickly. The invitation I have here is anything sparked for you? Is there any insights or takeaways? Are there 2 or 3 things that you might have heard? Anything that I might have offered or said, or that you've seen, that has evoked something for you to take away and consider further? And I'm just going to take a few seconds and pause here. So you might jot something down. And whatever you've got there, or maybe you want to keep considering it, I hope it might have something to do with your intention that you set at the beginning of our time today. And in review, we did our case study with my client who took that career overwhelm, that career challenge, and he turned it into an opportunity to essentially, shift and reinvent himself. And then we set our intention, did the review of Career DNA. I introduced you to the Opportunity Lens framework, and those 4 secrets are in there to help you towards career superpower success in the opportunity lens, and then offering you your November growth opportunity and your action steps, and then the takeaways. And so just to do a quick review once more of the uniqueness of your career DNA and your energy and talents to help you discover your career superpower, and then that opportunity as being able to help you towards career superpower success. And so looking at that perspective of how can you cultivate that opportunity lens and those 4 aspects to leverage challenges and embrace challenges and obstacles, and to help them offer that you could shift that into an opportunity. And then the novelty of approaching challenges and obstacles, anything that's getting in the way of you being able to work your dream or discover your career superpowers. And then finally seizing that time, seizing the moment, the momentum, carpe diem, seize the day. So that's the opportunity lens: leverage, embrace, novelty, seize. And so I'll invite you, to take this action from what you have heard today, what you've seen today, and in your own way, how can you shift from career overwhelm and use the career opportunity as an antidote to that overwhelm or that challenge? You do have the answers and the resources. You may not know it yet, but you do. If you need any support, I would love to be able to help you. You're welcome to join my membership, or maybe you'd like to speak to me one-on-one. And the contact information will be in the show notes under this and also on my website. In addition to that, if you would like to scan this code, thank you everyone for being here and being part of our time together today. And there's a feedback form here. I'm going to bribe you. For those who are not one of my members, I will offer you the Opportunity Lens worksheet to offer me feedback of how I might tweak, improve, do more, whatever value that it could be, so I can get some feedback from you. And then I'll offer that worksheet that I'll send back to you. And for my members, it's a la carte on what tool that you would like me to provide for you. So you have your choice of one of my tools. And so to let you know that next month we will continue and finish up the year, December 13th. It will be a later time at 5 p.m. and we will be exploring the topic meaningful work to get unstuck. And the letters there of the next line of code, if you like, is P, Q, and R. And so I'm going to dangle that of just like, so how is she going to turn P, Q, and R into meaningful work and get me unstuck? Well, I'm not going to get you unstuck. I'm going to plant some seeds for you. And so my contact information is here, and I've got all sorts of social media ways to contact me. My name's Rachel Newton, and I'm an integrated career coach, and would love to and be very excited to hear how you are able to find out and discover what your career superpower is to work your dream, whether you do that on your own with me, or if you might like some referrals from me of how you could have some support with that. But I just want to say thank you again for this time together, and I wish you all the best with using opportunity as an antidote to career overwhelm. Take care, everyone, and look forward to hearing how you work your dream.